Alright, welcome back to another episode of Full Court Press. We're back for episode 2. Episode 1 went well, but we're only going to get better from here. I got a new guest today. This is my good friend, Makai Mills. Where you from, Makai?
From Chester, Pennsylvania.
Okay, I'm Brian Wilcox once again. Full Court Press, where we cover sports baseline to baseline. Okay, let's get straight into it. So, there's been a lot of discussion about Jimmy Butler, and now you're talking about Houston probably getting him. So now they're talking about giving up about 4 first-round picks for that. Do you think any team should give up 4 first-round picks for one individual player?
Definitely not. Not four first round. That's 4 years. I mean, we don't know where the picks are coming from. They could be 4 first rounders from 2030.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if it's long term, like 1 first round pick every 4 years, I think Jimmy Butler on the Rockets would make them almost unstoppable at that point, having 3 All-Stars on your team, a Defensive Player of the Year, and Capella, well, candidate. He didn't win, but just to see that type of team to be able to have that type of ability is scary. But I don't think anybody is worth 4-round picks.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Because first-round picks, those are usually good players. Like, usually your first-round picks turn out to be players that stick around in your organization for a while. So giving up 4 of them for one player is just, I can't see it. It will cripple your organization for the future.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like Jimmy Butler ain't gonna be there for so long or so much longer.
Exactly.
Like 4 first-round picks, that's 4 people that could possibly, young players, while they getting drafted too, they're gonna be there however long they can stay there. So that's crazy. This is the even fact that that's even the thing to me, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy because they don't even think about injuries. Jimmy Butler get hurt, you don't know. Now you gave up so much for one person. Like, I remember back when I think the Saints gave up like their whole draft to get I forgot who it was, the running back. But they gave up their whole draft for one player. I never could agree with that. Like, that crippled them.
Yeah,
I think it was Ricky Williams.
Oh, he did. Ricky Williams was over there. I don't feel like anybody worth that much.
Yeah, first round picks go a long way. Continue with the NBA. Do you think the Lakers will make the playoffs? I saw last night, they won again. They got 2 games under their belt now. They didn't start off too well. Not like LeBron teams usually do. But you think they can make the playoffs now? I had some doubts.
Definitely. I feel like they'll make the playoffs just, like you said, LeBron. I just don't see LeBron missing. That just don't even sound right. LeBron missing the playoffs.
You don't.
I feel like I don't know what it was about Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball. Well, Lonzo Ball playing, Brandon Ingram not playing, Rondo not playing. They look a lot faster. They look like they scoring more with them 2 out of the lineup. They won their last 2 games. This could be the start of a streak that they need early in the season. And the games that they lose, they didn't get beat by a lot. They only got beat by 2 or 3 points, 1 shot, and then they lost the other game by 1. So it's not like they weren't in it. It's going to be a lot of tough games, and they're going to learn how to win down the stretch.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. In that West, you can't. It's like the 1 to the 8 in the West. Those records ain't that far apart. So if they don't get it together, they gonna be struggling to get in. And then once they get in, you don't even know how long they'll stick around.
Everybody looks good in the West. The Trailblazers normally near the bottom, and they always get in.
And
the Pelicans look good again without Boogie. Mirotic averaging 20. Like, what? Why you at Mirotic?
If the Pelicans are in the East, they could be the second best team in the East. And it's like they struggle to get in the playoffs.
The Nuggets looking good.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's
just loaded. All right, so Steph Curry went off against the Washington Wizards the other night. 51 points, 18 straight points in the first quarter. Didn't even play in the fourth quarter. It's not like we haven't seen this before from Steph Curry, but now people are talking about him for MVP once again. He already has 2. I didn't think that he would ever be in the conversation seriously ever since they got KD. But do you think that he could still win one even though he has KD on his team now?
I feel like he can win with KD there, definitely, because I feel like he wants to prove that he can win. Yeah. You can tell he was upset by not getting that MVP in the finals last year.
Exactly.
I feel like that last game, I feel like that's when he went so crazy that like he was trying to secure it and he failed. So I feel like he definitely feel like he has something to prove, even though they're on the same team. It's all good competition, and I feel like that's. But when you have that on the same team, and it drives both of them to go after that goal, I feel like that's why both of them can just. But I feel like when Steph Curry goes off, they win by like 30. when KD goes off, they win by like 6. So I
Yeah.
don't know why. That's just I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why either.
They barely win. The Steph go off, they win by 30. I don't know what that is.
I think it's just the way Steph goes off. It just kills the other team so much because he's making shots that you don't think he's gonna make, even though you know he can. It's just so.
It's the bleeding. That's like you just
watch it. Like they were even saying that they were fouling him, and he was still making the shots, and they said they didn't know what to do.
Yeah, when he
and to hear a player say that.
Yeah, it's Bradley Beal. That's an all-star NBA player. Like it didn't matter what we did, he kept scoring. When he shot that 3 and John Wall face from 30 feet out,
everybody
like it just, and then you get the dancing on you. Like
it was over from the start. But yeah, they definitely look like they're gonna be the number 1 team in the NBA once again.
Boogie's not even back.
Oh my gosh, I mean, that's what people don't realize. He's not even at full strength yet. But
Steve Kerr said Boogie gonna come off the bench and be like the second row. So they gonna take the first team off the floor, first team off the floor, and then just put Boogie in the run. Every offense gonna run through him with the second unit, and that's just how that sound. The offense gonna run through
Boogie relaxing right now,
in the
just waiting
second
to come
unit,
back.
man. So
yeah, for sure. All right, so let's take it over to the NFL now. Last night we had Thursday night football. It was a big game. It was supposed to be a closer game,
definitely,
but we had the Houston Texans come on top. DeAndre Hopkins made a one-handed catch that didn't count, but was still one of the best catches I've ever seen.
Definitely.
A lot of people keep asking him the same question: is he the best receiver in the league? And he goes, they don't really talk about him too much like they talk about the Odells and Antonios and the Julios. But do you think DeAndre Hopkins is the best in the league, in your personal opinion?
I don't know if I could just take him and put him at the top. I feel like if you ask anybody who their top 5 is, he gonna be in there.
Okay.
That's a definite. If you ask anybody who their top 5 receivers are, I feel like 100% DeAndre Hopkins is gonna be in everybody's. He's right there for me, right across. He's up there with AB, Julio, Michael Thomas, and all of those guys.
Yeah.
I feel like he's right there with all of them. He definitely is.
All right, so
as far as hands go, he's definitely the craziest catches.
I feel something about Hopkins to me is like, even though he is extremely athletic and talented, it's like when he makes plays, it just looks like it's just a pure dog.
Yeah, definitely.
Like you know how like Odell makes plays and it's like, okay, you could just tell that's spectacular.
Yeah.
But it's like it looked like DeAndre Hopkins really just busting, like just going straight forward. Competition, you versus him, he just outworking you.
Yeah, definitely.
Like it's not just God gifted. It's like I'm grinding for this touchdown. I'm gonna climb this ladder and I'm gonna get this touchdown and score. So like that's one thing I like about him a lot.
Just thinking about I think it was 1 or 2 weeks ago when he had that catch in overtime and did like 3 spins in a row.
Oh yes, and that was against the Dallas Cowboys.
That's just like he wants it. You can tell that he definitely wants it. Doesn't drop the ball.
Has done it with multiple quarterbacks.
And then with Deshaun Watson back, you see him doing how he's. And then when he didn't have good quarterbacks, he still was top 5 in the league as a receiver, and I think that says a lot.
Yeah, I think would I put him as number 1? Nah, I'm not gonna put him as number 1. I'll probably put Antonio Brown as number 1. Then I'm probably gonna go Odell, and then Julio. But he's definitely. To me, he's tied for 4th with A.J. Green. Because I feel like A.J. Green doesn't get talked about enough.
He definitely doesn't.
Yeah, I really feel that's my personal favorite player in the NFL. And I just feel like he doesn't get talked about the same way that Hopkins doesn't. I think it's because of where they're playing at. Cincinnati, Houston, they don't really get talked about that much. They're too inconsistent. So, DeAndre Hopkins definitely grinding this year. He's definitely one of the best receivers in the league.
Yeah, that's without a doubt.
Yeah, that's without a doubt. And he just needs to keep doing what he's doing. And he doesn't talk too much.
He doesn't.
Most of the time when I see him talking, it's in response to what somebody said to him.
Yeah, like the interview.
Yeah.
The other day, they like Xavier Howard said you push on. He said,
"Who was that?"
Yeah, like that type of stuff. That gave me hype. That gave me excited.
And then he went out and handled his business on Thursday night. Definitely. All right, so who? Out of all the teams in the NFL right now, who's surprising you the most?
The Chiefs.
The Chiefs. I feel like the Chiefs.
I thought they were going to be good. I didn't think they were going to be like top 6-1 type. I didn't think Patrick Mahomes didn't play at all last year, and to see him just walk into the NFL and look like Tom Brady and just throw touchdowns over everybody and have tied for the most touchdowns in the first 3 games of the passing touchdowns in the season. It's like it's
Yeah.
your first. He just walked out his first NFL game and threw 6 touchdowns like it was nothing. So it's just crazy to see. I mean, the weapons they have obviously are ridiculous. They got DeAnthony Thomas. They got who else they got over there? They got Kareem Hunt. They got Tyreek Hill. He run Travis Kelce.
They got Sammy.
Everybody just
Sammy Watkins.
It's just team. It's just all built on speed and just they all great players.
And Andy Reid is an underrated offensive
Definitely. I feel like he always was good as far as calling plays.
Definitely structure.
The Rams, I knew obviously the Rams were still good last year, but them being almost 8 games halfway into the season and still being undefeated, that's just a crazy feat. They running all over everybody. Todd Gurley running all over everybody. It's just crazy to see. I thought the 49ers, they shocking in a bad way. I thought it was going to be somewhat different maybe this year, but they 1-6 and still looking kind of the same.
Definitely. I think they would have definitely been better if they didn't have Jimmy tear his ACL so early.
Definitely.
I think out of all the teams that's surprising me, I say the Giants, because I really didn't think they were going to be as bad as they were last year, and it's looking like they're as bad as they were last. The defense is looking worse.
Yeah, way worse.
At least last year, Jack Rabbit was looking nice. Olivier Vernon was looking nice. Now they trading away people, and I heard both of them are on the trading block. So they're just ripping that team apart. Eli Manning looks like this would definitely be his last year.
Yeah.
Only bright side in New York right now is that Odell is under contract, and that Saquon is a beast. That's about the 2 happiest.
You feel like he should have? If you were Odell, would you have signed that contract knowing that y'all really weren't? He had 1 year left. He could have stuck it out this year and got paid like that somewhere else.
I don't think Odell thought Eli was as bad as he is. Just like a lot of people. But
definitely,
it's clear that Eli Manning is definitely.
The O-line is also terrible.
He can't move. That's one thing I had to think about it, because I know their O-line is really bad. Definitely. But at a point, I was looking at it. Eli Manning can't move. He don't make no plays out the pocket. Definitely. So I mean, most of your plays in the NFL down the field is usually from some creativeness from the quarterback. Patrick Mahomes makes a lot of good throws on the run.
Definitely.
Carson Wentz last year on the run. If you can't get out the pocket and extend the play, not every play is going to work how it's drawn up. Sometimes you need some extra time, and Eli Manning not helping that at all. Odell Beckham gets no touchdowns out of scrambles, and him just throwing him out of breaking out the pocket. Everything Odell, just like Odell said, he has to take a slant to the house, because those are just bang bang. But Eli Manning definitely surprised me. The Giants definitely are worse than what I thought they were going to be. I definitely thought because what were they, 2-14 last year?
Yeah.
So I definitely thought they were going to win at least 7-8 games. It's not looking like they can do that.
I thought they were going to contend this year, but
I did too.
Being as though their defense was so great, and they still, even though they lost the amount of games they lost, their defense was still playing great. They just gave up snacks. He was in the middle holding it down, and they just traded him for a 5th round pick. That's almost like saying all right, just leave. You might have just said leave, a 5th rounder.
I got another team I might have to take that back, because the most surprising team to me for real is the Raiders. Yeah. They are the most surprising team. I don't know how they're so bad. I thought John Gruden was a football guru, but it's not looking like it now. I don't know what happened to him.
He look like he talking about on that QB show for sure. I
tell everybody, QB camp, he looked like he could turn me into a NFL quarterback.
Definitely. Crazy. He
ain't doing too good right now. Derek Carr is looking worse. Khalil Mack got traded early. Just traded Cooper. It's not.
He didn't pay Mack.
He did.
I don't know why. I don't know how you give up Khalil.
But he's on a lifetime. When I look at that, I look at it like they have he signed for 10 years, so he wants to build his own team.
Definitely.
He doesn't really care about what's there now. He's going to get what he wants. And, I mean, I don't know. That might be good for the long run. They're about to go to Vegas. It's a lot of stuff that's changing for the Raiders. That's what I'm going to say. But they definitely surprised me with how bad they are this year. I thought they could actually get better, but it's definitely been worse.
My last 2 teams, as far as good and bad. Good, the Bears. He looked really good.
Definitely.
I had
Mitch Trubisky is okay. I like Mitch Trubisky.
As far as the Falcons, like y'all have too many pieces, man. They shouldn't even be allowed to be bad.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason that first game of the season they scored less than 14. Y'all had Julio Jones. Y'all have Muhammad Sanu.
I don't even like Julio Jones.
Y'all got Calvin Ridley. Y'all got 2 running backs that could start anywhere.
They don't even know how to get Julio Jones in the end zone.
It's ridiculous.
I think it shouldn't be that hard to get that man in the end zone.
It's really not.
Like Julio Jones, he's a huge target. He's super fast. He knows how to run routes. He catches everything. There's no way that y'all can't score with this man. That's probably the problem why they can't put up points, because they can't even get their best player in the end zone.
They got 4 good receivers, 2 good running backs.
Debatable they have the best receiving core in the NFL.
Definitely debatable.
Definitely, if you want to go through top 3 receivers, they're probably the best.
It's crazy to see how they can't score.
They have a top 10 quarterback, maybe top 5 quarterback.
And they can't.
They got 2 running backs that are both ready to go. It just don't make sense. But that's with a lot of teams. That's why in the NFL you can win and lose on any Sunday.
Yeah.
We'll go back into the NBA talk with it. How do you feel about the NBA telling certain players that they have to cover their tattoos because they're showing a logo of another brand?
I feel like it's almost like it's almost like disgusting to think about. Like,
it's weird.
Why are y'all able to tell, like, it's my, but it said it's in the contract.
Yeah.
I learned that they own a player's skin while they're on the court. Like, in my head, like, why, who put that in? Like,
that just sounds crazy.
And we're like, why you on the court, we own your skin. Like, why do you own our skin? Why is
that necessary?
Well, just to think about how that's still in effect today. Like, don't you think, like, over time somebody be like, all right, this is kind of like, we gotta take this out.
Yeah.
Somebody just left that in there as they move on. I think they definitely need to remove that. And because J.R. Smith's wearing Supreme on his leg is not gonna make the NBA change at all.
It's just weird because it's like, I know that a lot of people have Jordan symbols tatted on them, and I don't see anybody covering them up. Like, I know it's somebody out there. I see Mike Scott emojis tatted on him. Like, if you want to get technical with it, you feel me? You can get technical with it. If you want to get, because emojis are owned by Apple, so that's kind of Apple. Yeah. That's like endorsing Apple a little bit. They don't make them cover up that. It's going a little too far. I don't like, tattoos are a form of expression, individuality.
Definitely.
They're permanent in your skin. It's not jewelry or nothing that you can take off. You feel me? Like, but it's to a point. I don't think you should force them to cover a tattoo. They didn't do it on purpose to say, "Hey, NBA, it's another brand in your face." Like, that's how they. It's like the NBA is sensitive and they think that this is gonna hurt them. The NBA has enough money. They're making enough money that they can push this to the side and just let
come together
and not make you cover something up. It's just weird.
Yeah, just come together. That's the simple. For me, that's just simple. Like, when it be 2 big companies like fighting over something dumb, like imagine Supreme and NBA sleeve. Like, they're gonna sell. People will buy them just because.
But the whole thing is, Supreme and Nike collabed on a sleeve already. The league was sponsored by Nike. Last year, Kelly Oubre and J.R. Smith wore the sleeve, and they told them they couldn't wear it no more. They made it take it off by halftime. So it's kind of weird. And even Kelly Oubre said it had Nike symbol on it, so he didn't understand why he couldn't wear it because the NBA is sponsored by Nike. So it's always some little loophole somewhere where the NBA is gonna get what the NBA wants.
Yeah, at the end of the day.
But at the end of the day, I feel like you shouldn't be telling somebody they can't show their own tattoos.
Definitely.
That's just a little to the extreme to me. Who do you think will make it to the conference finals in the East?
In the East, I got the Raptors. I think a lot of people like forgot who Kawhi was or something, and it's like people
still there.
Yeah, like they 5-0 as they should be. They haven't lost a game, and Kawhi is Kawhi. He just came out first. He beat the Celtics already with full strength. He was playing great defense against Tatum, Howard, just down the line. As a team, the Raptors look good. I feel like it'll be, unless they get caught up between each other, it'll definitely be the Celtics and the Raptors. To me, I feel like the Sixers the Raptors already beat the Sixers and the Celtics. So I just feel like moving forward, it's definitely going to be the Raptors that end up going to the conference finals from the East. And from the West, the West. I know one thing for sure: the Warriors will be in the finals. And as far as the conference finals go, I really have no idea. Like when you think about who the best 3 teams are in the West, like you think about how the Spurs are not the Spurs anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like what happened to them, and then they just lost DeJounte Murray, and that was like the point guard for the season.
Torn ACL.
So like it's just crazy thinking that the Spurs might not make it. And then you just go back to last year. The Rockets is probably just going to be that same matchup again unless somebody else can outscore them, and I don't see that happening.
I'd probably say in the East for me, I'll go Boston. I think I'll get the Sixers. I don't know. I like Toronto, but something about Toronto, I'm not sold yet. You feel me? I'm not sold. Toronto, they've been letting us down. Like not letting me down. They've been letting themselves. They've been letting themselves down for a long time. So they're gonna have to prove that before I put them in the conference finals. I think the Wizards could do it, but they have to get themselves together. They always inconsistent on when they want to turn the on and off switch, but they definitely are talented enough to do it. But I'll definitely say Boston and probably the Sixers. I think the Sixers, that young. I just think Joel Embiid is a monster.
Yeah,
if he can get on some type of beast mode into the playoff time, then they should definitely be able to at least make it to that. I think Boston will probably beat them out in the end. And then the West, I probably pick the same thing as we've been seeing for real, Houston and the Warriors. I think that Houston somehow is going to get Jimmy Butler. At least it might take till the All-Star break, but I think that Jimmy Butler will be on Houston before the season ends.
Yeah, if that happens, I feel like even if the crazy part is even if that happens, I still feel like the Warriors are going to win the championship because it's just the amount of talent that the Warriors have. And not just that, but I feel like the thing that sets them apart from everybody else is their chemistry. It's like they know each other inside and out. You can tell when they play on the court, like they already be knowing where everybody's going. Mm-hmm. You can tell they know each other on and off the court. You can tell how smooth their game is. They don't never look out of sync as a unit. And I just feel like that's what sets them apart from the rest of the NBA teams.
All right, so if you had to pick a player right now, let's take Steph Curry out. Because Steph Curry just went off. I feel everybody would say Steph Curry right now. But if not Steph Curry, who else do you think could win MVP this year?
If they keep winning how they win, I think the Greek Freak got a chance.
Okay.
He definitely has a
I kind of want him to win.
I want him to win just because he's.
Has he won any award?
Nah, he just won an All-Star. That was it. He hasn't won any awards. I really want him to win. I really want the Bucks to keep winning. I feel like if they do good up into the playoffs, I feel like that they'll definitely. You have to recognize him. He's scoring like even the other night he had 38 and 17. Mm-hmm. He like only one of the like 3 NBA players that come out and had 25 and 15 in 5 straight games. Like that's not hurt. Like why are you there? Like he again like just coming out making everybody look like little. He look like he on the court with little kids. He's huge, long, strong, fast, dunking. Actually shooting this year, so if he can stay consistent with the jump shot, I don't think anybody will be able to do anything with him.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely looks good. For me, if it's not going to be Steph Curry, not going to be Giannis, Anthony Davis. I'll say Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is always in the competition. I think the Pelicans are definitely going to be a good team this year. I think they're going to make the playoffs again. If they can get into the playoffs at least as like the 4th seed. If they can get 4th seed, I think he'll get really big consideration.
Definitely.
But if they're barely getting in the playoffs, then he probably won't get it. But Anthony Davis will be my slow horse in the race. You feel me?
He definitely gonna get. He always in the talks. He just not always right there. Or the people that's over top of him doing just a little bit more and winning more.
Yeah, because I don't think James Harden will be in it again. And yeah. Steph could be in it, but if Steph does what he did to the Wizards, then he's gonna win it.
Yeah, unless regular season James Harden comes out in the playoffs for once, because he never comes to the playoffs. So.
Yeah, because they say they don't include the playoffs, but we all know they really do.
Definitely do. Yeah.
So they're watching just like everybody else. So let's talk about a little bit college football. Do you have any team that you think will be in the national championship? Any team that you just seen and you was like, they're probably gonna make it?
Bama just scares me.
Yeah, Bama. That's how I feel too.
Like, we all know that they've been a defensive powerhouse for who knows how long. They scoring 50 by the second quarter this year. So now it's like, all right. At first it was all defense. We usually just let the quarterback control the game, hand the ball off here, hand the ball off, hand the ball off. All right, play action pass. They coming out throwing it. So now it's like it's not. Now it's like they.
I think Nick Saban wants a championship.
Yeah, definitely.
I think he,
And Tua is no joke.
He's no joke.
He's coming out.
I think he has an NFL future for him.
Definitely. But this, especially with this being his first year on the field and just seeing him throw the ball. The scouts talk about him every week. He's barely throwing interceptions. His touchdown interception ratio is out of control. And you just see him. He just looks so comfortable out there. And his receivers, he got. Well, then again, when you at Alabama, you got like 3 5-star receivers just running around. It's easy to get
everybody a star at
Alabama. The backups that come off the bench files, but they just waiting to get their turn. So it's just crazy to see.
So do you like the college football playoff structure?
I feel like.
Well, let me ask: do you like it better than how they did it originally when they just bowl games and the top
I like
two?
it way better than the bowl games.
Yeah, I like it way better.
I feel like it gives the guy at the end a chance to show that they're the best.
Yeah.
And normally it was either 1 or 2, and if you wasn't 1 or 2, you might have been the best team, but we would never.
Yeah, you might have the same record as 1 and 2.
You could actually win the amount of games.
You're not gonna get a chance to show it.
That's the thing that. I don't know how they fix that, but if they can fix that, that would show where you start from the beginning of the season, because that'll also determine how far you can get up. So I feel like definitely the change to the playoffs is amazing. I don't think they should go to 8. I think that's way too many. Okay. I know that was in discussion.
That was gonna be my next question.
I think 8 is way too. That's all right. So you gonna play 10 games already? Then you gotta play 3 more games to win a champ. I think just play 1 game and then another game is cool, because when you look at it, what they're doing now, I feel like it's a great structure. To have that 1 versus 4, and sometimes you might have 4 beat 1, you got 2 versus 3 or 3 beat 2, and then you go from there. But I feel like I don't see any team that's like shocking me or that is showing like they could really beat Alabama.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely like the college football playoff structure way better than how they used to do it with the calculating with percentages and all that. Yeah, I didn't like all that. This makes way more sense to me to play. To see who is the best, gives a lot of teams more chances, because a lot of times the same teams become 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So this opens the field up. I think if it was 8, it wouldn't be too bad. It would probably. I feel like the more teams you let in, the more money you